Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your 8th PHP stock analysis, yada yada yada. Yeah, whatever. Let's just go ahead and start coding. So we have an array called pieces. So this pieces array is made up of several different elements: date, open, high, low, close, volume, and adjusted close. So let's go ahead and separate those pieces and store them in variables that we can work with. So we have date, and in the date variable, oh, excuse me. And you're saying, okay, why are you naming this one date? Because remember, the first one is the date, the second one is open, the next one is the high, then the low, so on and so forth. So what date is it's equal to P, let me go ahead and make sure I have this copied correctly. Pieces, and remember, in an array, the very first element is the 0th element. So now let me just go ahead and save it just like that. So whatever was the first item that got exploded out of that string, which happened to be the date, that's what is stored in first element or item in the array, and we're going to store it in a variable called date. So this array, like I said, has several different pieces. So let me just go ahead and we're going to be doing this for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the first one was the date, the second one was the open price, the third one was the high, the fourth one was low, close, and the last one was volume. Now, if you notice, the last one was actually adjusted close. But like I said, the close and the adjusted close are basically the exact same 99% of the time. So instead of having another item that we're never use, I'm just going to go ahead and use the close. High, low, close, yada, yada. So now we need to change this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now each of these individual items are stored in variables. So this is a lot easier to work with than this. You can, if you want to, just go ahead and use the array and reference the item, but I like variables that actually have a name that means something, so that's why I'm doing that. So we have all of the information. However, I don't want to go on and insert this information into our table just yet because I want to calculate a few other things. The first thing I want to calculate is whenever you have a stock, it opens at a certain price at the beginning of the day and it closes at a certain price. It changes by a certain amount. If I have a stock in the New Boston, greatest company on earth, it isn't even a company, but the stock can open for $5 at the beginning of the day. And then I make some awesome tutorials on, I don't know, how to wash my car. Then my stock price shoots up to $50. So the amount change is $45. However, if it goes down from 5 to 0, then the amount change is -5. This is information that's going to be important whenever we're analyzing stocks. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a variable called amount change, and we're going to be storing this in the variable too. So remember, in order to figure out the amount a stock changed through the day, you take the close price, which is the ending price, and you subtract it from the open price. So hopefully this is positive if your company did well. It's going to be negative if the stock price went down. So now after this is the amount change, the dollar amount. So for, let's see what this, it started out at 628 and it ended at 621. So this one went down $8. However, that isn't really useful whenever you're just looking at a company that you don't even know the value of. You say $8, maybe that's good for a company, if it's like Ford, that's like half the price. But for this company, which is Google, it's like only, 1%. So is $8 1% or 50%? It's really hard to tell. So also, aside from the amount of money it changes, you also want to get the percentage of the change, since this is kind of more important. If your stock goes up 10% or 50%, it's a lot more important of if it went up like, $3 or $5. So in order to figure out the percent underscore change, here's the formula for that. What you do is you take the amount change, which say is 8. Let's just go ahead and use 10. Let's see it changed 10, and you divide it over the open. And that is going to give you decimal, and then what you need to do is times it by 100, and this is going to give you a percentage like 78, 15. It's usually somewhere between like 0 and 5%. Stocks usually don't change more than 5% unless there's really big news in the company. So that's what I'm doing. Actually, that's pretty much all the time I have for this tutorial. I'm now going to take this information and insert it into a table on our database. So again, like I said, what we did in this tutorial is we grabbed all the information line by line and we saved it inside variables. We also made two additional variables to calculate the amount change of the stock, the daily amount change, and the daily percent change, because amount change is just a number that means nothing. However, a percent change is a really good indicator of how well that stock did. So in the next tutorial, like I said, we're going to be taking all of these variables, all of these values, and throwing them into a table, finally putting them into our database. So for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, yada yada. I'll see you next time.